The Mask of the Red Dead. The Red Dead had long been feeding on the country, now seeing they have ever been so deadly, so great killers of so fearful. The block was its mark, the redness and the horror of blood. There were sharp pains and sudden feelings. The mind was rushing in circles inside the head. Then there was blinking through the skin, though it was no cut or broken, and the brain read sport upon the body and especially upon the face of the six men made of their men turn away from him, afraid to treat the elf and the six nets last from the beginning to the end, no more than half an hour. Though Prospero, the ruler of that land, was happy and shrewd and wise, when half the people of his land had died, killed him 1,000 early happy friends, with them went far away to live in one of his places. This was a large and beautiful stone building. He had plain his face, a strong head wall shielded it. This wall had gates of iron. The helmet of their they had entered a brow far to heat the iron of the gates to make them close so firm that no boot could open them. Where they called heads, the singlet, the red dick, they were left the outside where the car front is left. Prospero had supplied everything they needed for place. There was music, there was dancing, there was beautiful, there was food to eat and wine to drink. All these were within the wall, and within the wall they would be safe. Outside the wall walked the red dead. It was near the end of their feet. Moon there that prospered his friends and to come together for a dance party and masquerade. Every doing was escaped to come dressed in fine clothes and with his age or present his worldly face covered bean and cloth mats.
Continuing with the podcast, uh, It was a scene of great riches that masquerade the weird savings room in which prosper friends danced in main old place. The door can be opened and shut away the rooms like this. Seven can be seen and at the same time. Okay, in this palaces it was different. Lights more than of saying could be seen at one time. There was a tune everything 20 or 3 yards. So the rib at the left in the middle of each wall was at some point window. The windows were of colored glass of same color that was used in each room. The first room had blue clock hangings on the walls and blue words in the window. The second room had wall hangings of tap blue red, quinoa as purple, and here the windows were purple. The door was green, and so was the glass of window. The floor had hangings and windows of yellow, the first of white, the sixth of violet. But the seventh room had hangings on the half made of rich soft cloth which was black as night, and the floor, too, was covered with the same heavy black coat. In this room the color of the windows was not the same. It was red and deep blue color. Continuing, and the rooms were light through the outside window. The resulting light was trimmed in neat as and colored the shape of dancers, but the light that fell on the back hangings through the block colored glass was the most fearful of them all. It produced so weird a look on the face of those who entered that here were fate of the dancers who dared to step within those dark walls. To end, in this room stood a great clock of black wood, gently marking the second as they passed, and when it was time to mark the hour, the clock spoke with a loud, clear voice, and did sound a beautiful music, but so strange that the music and the dancing stopped, and the dancing stood still to listen. And then after another 60 minutes, after another 3,600 seconds of flying time, the clock struck again and the dancing stopped as before.
Nevertheless, it was a happy and beautiful masquerade, and you may be sure that the clothes the dancers chose to wear, their costumes, were strange and wonderful. The dancers looked like the forms we might see in troubled dreams, and dizzy the dreams danced softly through the rooms, taking the color of the rooms as they moved. It did now seem that their steed followed the music, but that the music rose from their steps. But into the seventh room the dancers do not go, for the red lights coming through the windows, and the blackness of the walls against make the afraid, and he who enters hears more deeply the striking of the great black clock. but the other rooms are crowded, and in 10 beat only the heart of life. And the dance goes on until at last the clock begins to strike 12. Again the music stops. Again the dancer stops without moving, whistling the slow striking sound continued. Before the clock was quit again. Many in the crowd saw that in the first room, the blue room, there was a masquerader who had not been seen before. As they talked softly to each other about in a feeling of surprise, spirit thrown at the dancers, then a feeling of fear and of sickening horror. In such a group as this, only a very strange masquerade cloak have caused such a feeling. Even among those who launch at both life and death, some meters cannot be launched at everyone seeming not delighted to feel that the stranger should not have been allowed to come among teen dressed in such clothes. He was tall and very thin, and covered from head to foot like a dead man prepared for the grave. The mask which covered his face, or was it really a mask? The mask which covered his face was so much like the face of a dead man that the naked eye could not see the differences. And yet all these might have been acceptable, but the masquerader, who nobody can have made himself look like the real deal himself. His clothes were stuffed with blood, and the mask over the face was covered with the terrible red spot, or perhaps it was indeed his face.
Prospero stood in the blue room when he spoke these words. They sounded through the 7 rooms, loud and clear, at first. As he spoke, some of the dancers started to move toward the strange masquerader, but they stood afraid, and no one dared to put or head to touch him. The stranger started to walk toward the second room. He paced within a few feet of Prospero, who stood still, surprised, and while the dancers moved back from the center of the room, the stranger moved quietly, without being stopped, with a slow and measured step, through the blue room to the purple room, through the purple room to the green room, through the green to the yellow, through it to the white, and then to the violet room. As the stranger was entering the 7th room, Prospero suddenly and angrily he rushed through the 6 rooms. No one dared to follow him. He held a sharp knife high over his head, ready to strike the stranger. When he was within 3 or 4 feet of the strange masquerader, the stranger turned and stood silent, looking firmly into Prospero's eyes. There was a cry, and the knife dropped shining upon the black floor. Open wide, a minute later Prospero made himself feel dead. The dancers they rushed into the black room. The stronger of the men tried to hold the masquerader, whose stout form stood beside the black clock. But when they put their hand on him, they found inside the great clothes no human form, no body, nothing. Now they knew that it was the Red Death himself that had come in the night. One by one the dancers fell, and each did as he fell, and the fires died, and the clock stopped, and darkness and decay, and the Red Death ruled forever over all.